Welcome to another episode of This Week in Plymouth on the Road. I'm your host, Casey Kennedy, and with me today at the Plymouth Seaside Grace Trail is founder of Grace Trail, Ann Jolis.
Hello, Casey. It's great to be here.
Hello, and thank you for joining. So Grace Trail, I've heard so much about it. This is my first time actually being here. Very beautiful, love it. Can you explain to me, what is Grace Trail? What's the origin story?
In 2000, I was in a very difficult time in life. I heard myself saying I need to step into grace. Didn't even know what that meant. But I knew where I was horrible, and I was trying to get to the eye in the middle of the storm and couldn't find my way. And that's when I saw 5 words: gratitude, release, accept, challenge, and embrace, in the word grace. And I was like, that's really cool. Later on that day, I started asking the 5 questions that flow from that, like, even though life's hard, what can you be grateful for? What do you need to release to move forward in your life? What's calling out for acceptance? That's always a hard one, right? And C is, how did I need to challenge myself to move forward in life? And the last one was, what could I embrace as possible? So that was where you invite your imagination and possibility and hope in. And I started asking those 5 questions throughout the day, and every time I asked them, I felt better. And my husband came home from work one night and said, hey, let's go walk Grace together. And we walked around the block for an entire summer asking and answering those questions, and both of us finding the language we needed to move through the pain and struggle that we were both experiencing. And it really saved us at a really difficult time.
That's amazing. And you kind of took it to the next level of the mindfulness, but also bringing it back to nature. How did the Plymouth Seaside Grace Trail come about?
In 2012, my son was in Afghanistan in combat, and he made it home. Okay, so he is home. And yes, and I found myself struggling again, and I read an article about the Appalachian Mountain Trail, and the question was, who's hiking the trail? And they said it's a whole lot of veterans walking off their war. I was like, really? Where do I go to walk off my war? And I don't mean to compare the struggles I have with combat. No comparison. But my struggles, where do I go to walk off my worries? And I decided to make a grace trail with the 5 grace questions and the 5 words right here in Plymouth so I could walk it every day. So I went down to the beach, I picked up the biggest granite rock I could find, I wrote gratitude, what are you grateful for? I did that for all 5 words along the most beautiful trail in the whole world along Plymouth Harbor. And I hung up a little handmade sign, and people came. People started walking it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really have something here. Yeah. And I now have 10 trails across the United States.
Wow. So what happened with the town of Plymouth to create this?
Great question. They got an amazing grant. They fixed the whole walking surface all the way down for like 1.5 miles. So it changed the whole experience of the Grace Trail. And the traffic has increased tremendously with walkers, bikers, carriages, dogs, cats, pigs, goats. I see them all on the trail. And yeah, but what I like to say is the universe gifted me this trail, and now I'm gifting it to Plymouth. And if I picture the whole Plymouth Seaside Grace Trail, I picture a wellness and a mental health resource for people that's woven right into the landscape, which is really important. So this is a free tool for anyone who needs to get out and access more joy. Pause, reflect, relax, and ask the 5 questions on the Plymouth Grace Trail and find your own answers. Let the universe help you, let the trail help you, let nature help you, and connect with others.
I thank you for bringing this to Plymouth for the community to enjoy and to ask themselves grace. And exciting, this coming Monday, May 12th, you were having an official ribbon cutting at the Grace Trail. Can you tell the folks at home a little bit about that if they want to join?
Sure. Oh, everyone's welcome. And I'm expecting a nice group. And the town of Plymouth has been so gracious in opening their hearts and opening their trail to the Grace Trail. And I want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate the wonderful relationship and the wonderful just the wonderful gift that we've made available to the town of Plymouth.
Wonderful. And I know for the ribbon cutting, will you be having a guided walk
yes,
through the
yes.
trail
Right.
with you and some others?
Yes, so there'll be a couple of speakers, and I'll be able to shout out to people who I really want to thank, who, because these were made possible in the stones, everything was donated by local business.
And appreciate you taking the time to join us. And for the ribbon cutting, if anyone at home would like to join, that will be Monday, May 12th at 1 p.m. And thank you again for joining us on this episode of This Week in Plymouth. We'll see you soon.